Sort of. So my initial game plan was to essentially shove hard against LeBlanc, because I know she has trouble farming early, and then look to help my Shaco out and possibly look for like early echo kills and stuff, but nothing too crazy. My main short plan that I came up with in my head was um, shove LeBlanc, look for Rome's bot lane with Taric Jinx.
Do you really think the Romans and bot lane were going to be doable, and if so, like how doable could they have been?
Not, I didn't think they were going to be super doable, but because of Janna. But I also thought to myself, maybe if I can get down there on a roam before um, or when Zaya's ults are down, then there's a good chance I can look for a pick there. But overall, it's mostly just the original game plan in my head was to shove in LeBlanc and keep her from roaming. And if I could do that, then I'd scale. And like our team's comp just beats theirs late.
And what about top lane? Do you think top lane is gankable? And how do you
Um,
think top lane is going to go like?
so I would say yes, it definitely is, but it's very scary after 6, because just Alawi ult in general is spooky. So at best, I think the most I would get is probably an ult out of her, and the chances of maybe an echo counter gank, I didn't recall ever really roaming up there, just because I was scared of that echo counter gank into an Alawi ult. Like that just was way too spooky for me, if I remember.
So because of that, we can be looking for something before level 6.
Yeah.
What about the laning phase against LeBlanc? Like, what else? Like, will you just keep on shoving in waves, or?
Um, I wasn't afraid to trade with her ever really. Um,
How are the trades going to look like?
Basically, if
So
she
level
goes in,
1, 2, 3, and so on.
so one, it depends on what she starts. Most likely, she's going to start W.
Mm-hmm.
One, I kind of tried to avoid her because she can just get in and out. I might be able to get a Q off if I'm fast enough when she dashes in, but that's about it. Two, I could pretty much uh, go extended trades with her. If I But was shoved in, like me shoving her in, it was going to be more difficult. And then three, I have wind wall. I can block a lot of her shit, and from there I can kind of just look for really extended trades on her. Give me just 1 second. What's
Yep.
up?
The sergeant major was telling me just to make sure all the fire escapes are closed
Okay.
while you have your runner do that.
Yeah, I'll have him run around. All right. Did he just come by and say something?
Yeah, in 403 on the third floor, one of the fire escapes is propped open by a mattress.
Oh boy. Okay.
I guess he saw that and fucking
All right. Yeah, I'll hit up the dude really quick.
appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks. Sorry, I'm technically at work right now.
No problem. Take your time.
Just one moment.
Take your time. Don't worry about it.
Let me call this guy really quick, and then I'll be ready.
If you want, just mute as well.
Yep, I gotcha. All right. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I'm back.
Everything's good.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to make a quick call.
No problem. And what about after the laning phase? Like, what exactly could you guys, or like, could you be doing? Like, how exactly could you be looking to play out basically the mid to late game?
Oh, really? It depends on the lead. or how far behind we are.
So
Which
so
I think
let's
I
say
was.
after the landing phase, right? Are we gonna be looking to group, or are we gonna be looking to go at the side lane?
I would say that mid game we could look to side lane for at least a little while, just because we have a Kale, we have a Jinx. Like the late game there is super strong, but also, um, hopefully our Shaco's playing bot side, and we can look for picks in their bot side jungle if that's the case, assuming that Jinx Taric will be mid. Let Scale do her or let Kale do her side lane thing, and then I can look for picks in their bottom side jungle.
This is
Is
after the
really
landing phase when bot lane goes mid. Let's say you go top
right.
and Kale goes bot.
Well, I was thinking I would go bot, but
Well, hypothetically,
yeah,
because like usually top lane goes bot, mid lane goes top, and bot lane goes mid.
gotcha.
Like hypothetically, right?
Um,
Like it can be the opposite as well. Like you being on bot and Kale being on top still. But like I'm
uh-huh.
just saying, like hypothetically, is this your plan for this part of the game?
Yes, yes, that would be my plan for this part of the game.
Okay, and what about like let's say late game? Would you be looking to split push, or would you be looking to team fight, or maybe like
No,
a
I'd be
mix
looking.
a mix in between, like in between, like what exactly?
Really, I'd be looking for team fights late game, and picks. Like if somebody's messing up and they're positioning, I'd be looking for team fights. We have a Kale ult, we have a Yasuo ult. Like that's a strong wombo as it is. Jinx Taric, that's plenty of peel, and Shaco can look to assassinate. Like we have a really good team there. I would say for team fights. Um, but if team fights just end up not working, then we have really strong split push with Kale and me. So
So you got two options, right? We have like
yeah,
both options to both split
like if
push.
our team fights are just playing just horribly wrong, then I can just look to split with Kale can look to split too.
Yeah, and also the team fight something that you didn't mention is we have Taric ultimate, Taric stun.
Yeah, yeah,
Shaco is able to assassinate, and with her W we are basically fully able to zone out Janna and Zaya.
yeah,
And a tiny bit of Echo and LeBlanc, right? Because from LeBlanc
right,
and Echo we can block Echo's Q and LeBlanc's QE,
right,
right? So team fights quite strong for us. If we are like either even or ahead. If we're behind,
yeah,
not so much, right? If we're behind, then we can be looking to, like you said, look to split push a bit more. Like you being on top lane, let's say, and Kel being on bot lane, and then Shaco
uh huh,
also like come in to help you guys out. So, something about the landing phase. You can be looking to do the following thing. So level 1, not start Q, start E. Let LeBlanc basically, and you can basically do this against the majority of mages slash assassin mages. So like what you can basically do is let LeBlanc walk up to try and trade with you. Oh, this is a very thick
uh huh,
fight. So basically let LeBlanc walk up and try to trade with you, right?
right,
And once she comes around this area to like pull out an auto, oops, not a Q, to pull out an auto plus a W plus auto to proc her
electrocute.
electrocute, right?
Yep.
Like once she looks to does that, and if you start E, like the way you can basically counter that is by basically like dashing on the minions and getting on top of
Uh
them,
huh.
because she's going to be around this area, right?
Right.
So like then like once she uses W, like she has nothing else. She only has autos, and then like
Right.
you're going to have all this space over here. So like from here you'll have all this space to like chill with there, and you
Right.
can also use like all of the minions that you have here and here to like dash
Uh
in,
huh.
so you won't really have to dash immediately on her. Plus you're gonna be able to like keep up with her when she will be back
Right.
anyway, right?
Right.
So that is possible for level 1. And if you do pull this out, right, it can basically like set up the tone for level 2 and 3. Okay.
Uh huh.
You also start with D-Blade. I would have personally started with this shield and go second wind plus overgrowth in this case. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you go this shield with second wind, right, you will basically get the sustain and like basically be able to sustain out her poke, right?
Right.
So like even when you go for even trades, you're still gonna come on top because you will have sec win and the shield,
Gotcha.
right? And like once you get the early trades, basically after this like level 2 is quite straightforward. If she walks up, you can like look to dash on the minions and look for like a Q or like an EQ on her, right? An EQ plus like auto at the end, depends on like if she stays on you. And afterwards it's basic like mostly mechanics, how you play out the wave, how you're positioning, and all of that stuff, right? But level 1,
Right.
if you do play it right with E, like we said, it can basically set up the tone for later on. Because later on, if she makes another mistake and you capitalize on it like properly, right? You can look to get the kill or to either like get her low enough where she has to get like get the recall, right? Then you can look to crush the wave, get the clean reset, and come back to a wave which is like either going to be slow pushing towards you or it's going to be over here,
Right.
right? And like then simply enough, you have a very good wave and a very good like like place to be. You basically get the freeze, and if you just to walk up, right, we can get the small trades. And the small trades
Mhm.
eventually build up into like you being able to go in for an all-in, right? And also Shaco then
Right.
is like capable of coming in for a gank as well, right? And like even if Echo tries to like gank you or something like this, you have again W for his Q for LeBlanc Q and E, and you can also get out of his W as well because of like your E to like either dash on him, LeBlanc,
Right.
or like the minions, right?
Right.
About mid game, basically just going on the side, right? Because we don't because like once bot lane comes mid, right? We don't want to be looking to like be with them like the majority of people do in like platinum and below, right? Because then we just do arms and we share XP and gold, which is not exactly what we're looking for. So we'll go to the
Right.
side lane, whichever one is going to be the one which is free, right? So like if KL goes on bot lane, right, we go top lane, and if KL goes top lane,
Mhm.
we go bot lane, right? So whatever is free,
Right.
basically adapting to like what our teammates do, and so on and so forth. And at the side lane, also what you can do once you get into the mid game, and this also applies for late game as well. It's like once tier 1 is down, right? It's like once tier 1 is down, you can look to push the waves, get them around this area, and this basically creates pressure. So like someone of them has to move on top lane, right?
Right.
To get the wave. And like once they do that, like once the wave is like coming over here and it's going to like crush, right? You can get the rotation towards mid lane for a
Right.
potential like numbers advantage fight. And like
Right.
even if it doesn't work out, then okay, like whatever. Like the wave is gonna like this wave over here, which will come, right? Like the new one is basically going to slow push towards you, so you can go back and catch the wave,
Right.
right? So like once you do this whole thing over here, like you have options. You can go for potential fight over at mid lane, right? You can go for rift. You can go to steal camps. You can go towards Drake if it's up, right? You have a lot of options,
Right.
and you basically have to select what are your options, which is the best one, and like which is going to be the most beneficial one, right, and the most promising, and then go with it, right? And for late game, we can still do the same, or we can go for team fights. And like this will depend on like how far ahead or like even or behind we are compared to the enemy team, right?
Right.
And from there you have to see like that thing, like if you guys are ahead, behind, or even, and then come up with a decision. Is it better for me to join the team fights, right, with my teammates, or is it better for me to go? Oops, come on. Or is it better for me to like go and split push, right, and do the thing that we
Right.
talked about, or just like keep on split pushing? Because when you come
Right.
to decide, you either have this option that we talked about over here, or you can just keep on split pushing, right? And like when we
Mhm.
split push, we need to watch the minimap quite frequently to get the information that we need, see who is missing, who is not, if any objectives are up, and if so, we can play around them. If not, we like have to look if like who is missing, and if like those guys which are missing are any like real danger to us, and if so, right? Like how big of a danger they are. Like, can we kill them? Can we not kill them? Right? You have to answer all of those questions, and then you can decide like if you're gonna keep on split pushing and creating pressure, or like just or like if you just get the wave to come around this area, or to just like crush under the tower, right? And
Right.
then for you to make the rotation.